Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's time for another warm-up. Let's get started. Time for another warm-up today. You guys know that I love warm-up drawings. Gets me started for the day. Have a very big day of work today. Lots of 3D sculpting, and the drawing process definitely activates my brain. I encourage you to do the same. So, I am currently working on, not in my professional work because I can't tell you anything. I'm currently working on, in my video world, I am working on tutorials. My first tutorial will be the basics of drawing. Be getting that wrapped up for you guys directly. Get it advertised on the channel, social media, so on and so forth. Very excited. Been a long time coming. And I think that even those budding professionals that want to polish upon the foundational items and basics, this will be a really good refresher for you guys. But today we're going to be doing, like I said, the warm-up. And I love animals. So for those of you who don't know, I love animals. I love animals because they are can be very complex, but also have a lot of character to them. You can really draw upon the animal world to help you in a myriad of ways, especially as it pertains to your drawing. I talk about picking an animal and drawing it every single day for a month, and then after that time is completed, you will have a really good understanding of what that animal is, how he reacts, his body, his form. And I think that that is definitely something we should do as artists. Pick something, little by little, draw it, investigate, see what it's about, and really add that to your tool belt. I've done that with a myriad of animals. That's why I have a decent knowledge of the animal world. Plus I watch a lot of documentaries. Yeah, I'm a huge documentary guy. So today we're going to be drawing a capybara. Capybara? It is the largest rodent species in the Americas, I believe. South America. I'm not sure if we have those in North America unless they're in zoos. But capybaras are so much fun. They kind of have that attitude of, I don't want to say laziness because they're not lazy. Kind of chill. They're kind of chill. I've got this magnet on my refrigerator that says, I don't know how much longer I can slay, and it's just basically the face of a capybara. So as you see, started out with oval transition. We've got this kind of a skewed rectangle for the neck. Then we move on to another oval or bean shape for the body. And now I am placing said items where they need to go. This technique is nothing new, so don't think that I'm reinventing anything. Oh, Mike's doing something new. No, this is pretty well known, the kind of construction method of drawing. Helps me understand forms a little bit better, form being height, width, and depth, and lines. So you can see that I'm doing this for kind of your benefit as per the drawing process, and there's a myriad of ways to kind of do the same thing, but the lines give me a guideline to execute the forms, and definitely encourage you, find what works for you. Some people don't like lines, and that's completely fine. They may put it on its side and draw that way. But I definitely think that lines helped me. So hopefully everybody's New Year's getting off to the right foot. Of course, me being in corporate again, we've had quite a few powwow sessions at the job that I work at. For the years and years, I was a freelancer. And then, of course, things change, want to do things, buy a house, so on and so forth, and I had to step back into corporate. And I'm very appreciative that I could do that kind of at my own will. And it's definitely been an adjustment for me over these past few months, because corporate is an entity, meaning they have shareholders, they have a need to make money, and that's okay. I'm here for that, but there's always going to be an agenda. And with that being said, there are people involved and shareholders and money. So getting back in the rung of things has been a challenge. But I've been in corporate before. I know what it's like, and that's completely fine. There is seasons for everything. Capybara. His ears are a little bit too big. Let's go ahead and do this. It's very fascinating. They're very sensitive to vibration. So they're not easy to kill. They are a prey item for other animals such as jaguar and caiman in South America. And I'm sure the babies, birds of prey will get them, and so on and so forth. But yeah. A little bit of a background context. Here we go. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the kind of different format for the channel. I still will be doing reviews. I'll be posting a review for XP Pen here, maybe even today. It's been completed for a while. I'm just waiting to get the green light, because sometimes I don't get all the information right, and the company that sends me products will say, hey, you forgot to mention this, do you mind? And I'm like, no, I don't mind. They never ask me to change my opinion, which is awesome, because I wouldn't, unless they slip me 100. I'm just kidding. I would never change my opinion based upon any type of quid pro quo. It's not how this channel rolls. Honesty about the products that I review. I did have a couple companies basically say, pay for it first, we'll send it to you, do the review, and then we'll reimburse you. So they would hold that good review over your head, and I don't work like that. That's not an honest. Yeah, I want to get paid. If I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to review it. I don't do a quid pro quo situation. You do this for me, I'll do this for you. That's not the way it works. So, all right. Capybara. And here we are on the second drawing. Haha, second drawing action. Yeah, simple shapes. Simple shapes. Simple shapes. People ask me all the time, what do I do with the drawings that I've done? If you saw at the beginning, you saw that huge wall of drawings. I keep them. I've got a huge collection of drawings that I've done over the years, probably 500, 600, 700, 800 drawings, whatever. And I keep them. There's no time in my life where I haven't wanted to create. And having these is a really good reminder of where I've come from. You can see progression from years and years ago to the middle point to now. And I like having stuff around me. I love having great stuff in my studio from samples. I've got tons of samples of toys I've done, right? Toys that I've sculpted and created. Stuff I've done in the marketplace, artworks. And I definitely just enjoy having stuff around me. My wife's like, "You're a hoarder." How dare you? She's probably right. I don't hoard in the, I don't even say traditional sense, because what is a traditional hoarder? I don't know. I like being surrounded by stuff in my environment that inspires me, and stuff that I've done definitely inspires me. I remember going into the offices when I was at Disney of the different artists, and one of the artists that was sort of in charge of what I was doing when I was there had a very unique name. I'm not going to name him, but a very unique name. His office was crazy. I mean, he had so much stuff, and I go in there and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So maybe it's an artist thing? I don't know. Maybe it's a human thing? So getting stuff set up correctly in your drawing is very important. Correctly. See, there's that phrase again. If it's set up correctly, that means there's an incorrect. Well, as it pertains to what I'm doing and trying to illustrate an animal and getting the anatomy right, as it pertains to the animal, I mean, I could adjust the animal's anatomy. I could put his head on his shoulder if I want, and boom, we have a new character. You understand what I'm saying. Ooh, that ear is gigantor. Too big. I don't want to kind of put you or anyone else in an artistic box. But there is that gray area, per se, of, is it art? Well, yeah. But we always want to say good versus not good. It's like we have that internal rating system. Man, that's a good drawing. Pertaining to who? Pertaining to what? It kind of irks me sometimes whenever art is judged. Now, whenever you monetize art and you've put a dollar value on it, then there are opinions. Especially if somebody's paid you to do something. Let's say they paid you to do a capybara, and you give them a capybara with a head on the shoulder. Maybe that's not what they asked for. So then that would be considered wrong. Still art, but in the context of what you're trying to do, not great. So I've been watching a documentary about Walt Disney and his really desire to have things at a certain standard and level. And I saw that when I was there. And that standard, it's something that he pushed a lot from the movies that he made to the merchandise. And I saw that a lot. And I think that there definitely does need to be a standard. But my question, standard in terms of art in the market, I definitely think we as human beings like things right as it pertains to what you're doing. So yeah, the more you practice, the easier it will be. Hairs coming out here. Good. He's got these webbed feet. They're really good swimmers. He's sitting kind of Indian style. I did see something which was very interesting recently. I saw that Disney was considering bringing back traditional animation. For those of you who don't know, that was my original inspiration of what I wanted to do. That was kind of my path. I went to school thinking I wanted to be an animator. Really wanted to kind of step into that whole world, telling stories, animating, acting, and I did. I was in a lot of animation classes in college, and basically that was kind of my path. That's what I wanted to do. And then things changed, of course. Computer animation came out, and the world was so enamored with computer animation that traditional kind of went poo-poo. But it never went away, because you saw it in commercials, you saw it in entertainment venues, stuff like that. And even Disney did some traditional animation here and there, but they were kind of the purveyor of it in the beginning. They were not the inventor of it, but they really kind of revolutionized the whole process, and that's what I wanted to do, be an animator. I do believe that ship has sailed. Now I am a toy guy, product designer, and painter. Will I do animation again? I don't know. I just don't know. That's something that, again, it's very involved, but who knows? Who knows? Never say never. Now what I'm doing is just giving him sort of an environment, something simple. So I'm a big proponent of the draw through and understanding where stuff goes. So I've got this big bean shape that comes around, which is the bulk of his body. I've got this foreshortened kind of a bean shape for his head, placed all the anatomical areas. Go ahead and do this. Get things kind of where they need to be. Got his fur that comes down. And I've attached these shapes for his legs. It's important in the context of the drawing to, again, know where stuff goes, where it lies, where it's supposed to go, to give a believable drawing of a capybara. And in animation, just since we were talking about animation, a lot of those principles in animation, such as squash and stretch, draw through, in and out, stuff like that. Let's get a rock right here to kind of balance. A lot of those things apply when you do a drawing like this. It'll help give your drawing some life. you really have to give yourself a standard, because what will inadvertently happen if you don't, you'll meet up with a situation where your drawing is just not good enough for your client, or two going the same way. Let's do this. There we go, that's better. And what you really have to kind of do is create your own standard that I would say exceeds a lot of the standards that are in the market. You'd be surprised what gets through in the professional world because of circumstance and money and time. And you as an individual really have to kind of push through those industry norms, because there is a statement that I've learned to embrace, and that is finished, not perfect. And there is, here we go. There is that moment in time where you're like, oh, I wish I had more time to work on that. And in the professional environment, there always has to be that balance. And that comes with wisdom and time and knowing when to stop. Because you can work something and work something and work something over and over and over again. And then what is the return? Now, if it's doing it for personal development, honestly, you can do it until you can't do it knows more. And that's fine. But in the professional environment, there's that balance. I remember I was asked, I was working on a drawing, and it was beautiful, it was great, I was having such a wonderful time, and one of my bosses came by and he looked at it and he goes, wow, that's really cool. I said, thank you. And it kind of pinned me up a little bit. And then he said, how long did you spend on that? About 6 hours. And the scoff, oh my gosh, you spent 6 hours on that? Are you kidding me? Because he was looking at it from a different perspective. Meaning value versus return. Effort. And it was a moment in time where I'm like, wow, okay, so I did great work, but, and then it was, next time, make sure and submit a sketch before you move on to the final and spend 6 hours so I understand how long that's going to take, and I'll tell you whether or not you can continue. Because he's paying for that. Yeah. Eesh. Lesson learned. So, Capybara. Number 2. Drawing 3 in warm-up. Capybara. Alright. So capybaras spend a large portion of their lives in the water. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least do one drawing of the capybara in the water. You notice I don't get into details really quickly, and that's something by design per se. And it is important to note that you really need to sort of walk before you run. Because if you don't, your drawings you'll be frustrated. Let's say that. You will be frustrated. I put a lot of effort into the process of learning because, first of all, it's great. I love learning, and I had the opportunity to do that as an illustrator. Still learning a lot, still doing things, still taking tutorials. All the time I do tutorials, probably about one every other day. during the week. I put them on repeat. Sometimes I watch the same tutorial 1 and 2, 3 times. And I think it's good for us to learn. You can learn a lot from other people, especially professionals and people that don't know what they're doing. I mean, I've learned quite a bit from people. You can watch their whole process and then watch them fail, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to do that. I learn. I'm a car guy, so I like cars and trucks and vehicles, mostly as it applies to design. I really like older cars because back then it was form over function. The form was just, and form over safety as well. A lot of vehicles back in the day were so unsafe. And I just love the design of older cars, especially cars from like the 1920s and the 30s. I think those cars are really beautiful. And a lot of cars, once we got into the 60s, they started putting stuff in wind tunnels because they started learning about fuel mileage and having a streamlined looking car. So, yeah. Anyway, so I learned a lot about cars. I've learned to repair cars. I've learned to fix my own car. It has saved my family an enormous amount of money over the years. We're talking from transmission replacements to engine modifications to your normal stuff, maintenance, oil, fluids, stuff like that, to basically keep your car running. And that is something that I love to do. There we go. Got this nose, which has a darker... But I encourage you, just find something that you don't know anything about and try it out. Try to do something different. Make 2026 your year of learn. How incredible would it be if you'd never knew how to do something and you had always paid somebody to do it, and then this year you learned how to do something yourself? That would be awesome. That's what I'm doing. It's going to be my year of learning. And teaching, for that matter. Okay, so we've got here, and you've got that other ear that comes up right there. Okay, comes around here. Capybaras are so cute. We've got a really fun cafe here up the mountains where you can go and actually dine with a capybara and pet him or her, whatever it is, and just spend some time with that creature. They've got one in captivity and it's friendly. I'd probably raised from birth or something like that. And here we go. And you can go and have coffee. I think it's coffee with a capybara. I don't remember. But it's expensive. It's $75 per person per 30 minutes. So if you had 4 people, then suddenly it would be a little pricey. It would be a little pricey. Okay, so As I go in, again, I'm just going to put some indications of fur. I'm not going to get out of control with the fur. I am, however, going to turn my pencil on its side here in just a moment to kind of put in a little value here and there. Lily pads or something. So we're going to take that out. Now, these pencils do have a plastic sheath on them, or something. It might be a plastic or some kind of coating on the outside that prevents it from marking, because it won't mark on the side. So whenever you sharpen it, it exposes the material, and you can basically go in and give some value here and there. Okay, keeping things simple this morning as our warm-up progresses. Hopefully you're getting something from this drawing. I, again, am endeavoring to do more drawing on the channel, even though the drawings that I have done recently have had very little views, probably less than 50, but that's just part of it, I guess. People that watch it, watch it. Got 22,000 subscribers and only 50 people watch the new videos that I've posted. Just for context, it's a lot of effort. That's what I was talking about, effort versus return. There's not a lot of return on the time investment with YouTube until the algorithm picks you up. And once it picks you up, then, oh, look at me, I'm making money at YouTube. But that's not what it's really all about. At least not for me. If it was, I would have quit a long time ago. So, that is Capybara. Let's go ahead and do this. Number 3. A little bit of foliage right here. Okay, hopefully you guys liked this video. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see. If you like these drawing videos, please let me know. I've got animals, lots of animals I can draw. Some people are like, can you draw Grogu? Yeah, I can draw Grogu. I've done Grogu before. Can you do anime? Yes, I can do anime, but I prefer to mix things up. So maybe I'll do something anime next, I don't know. But have an awesome day, guys, and go learn something new. 2026 is your year. Have a good one.